Hi, I'm Scott MacLeod, and I'm going to offer a history here of the internet and hacker culture. In this video, I suggest that the collision of cyberspace with traditional political, social, and economic spaces has shaped ongoing convergences, which merge state and social interests. I focus on the articulation of state-funded technology and innovation with the hacker and libertarian cultures that so significantly gave rise to the internet, especially through the personal computer. I suggest that this interaction is a significant historical and emergent trend, shaping new kinds of interactions between state, economic, and social interests within the context of the internet. The use of this dynamically growing, many-to-many worldwide communication network of around 1 billion people to shape new perspectives and thinking on all aspects of the world in multimedia on personal computers, thus gives rise to ongoing engagement with democratic principles of change. Academic researchers and hackers have benefited from this. The state, that is the US government, provided the resources, mostly through the military initially, but they weren't directed toward any specific technological outcome. This helped to create a milieu of innovation where large numbers of people working in the information technology industries and others in academia took the opportunity to write software and create hardware that grew out of these hacking and libertarian mentalities. No one foresaw the emergence of the internet in any way, and it took shape serendipitously. In the next slides, I'll offer a brief history of the internet and emergent trends to identify some likely future directions of and levers for or openings for change, which emerge from this history. By highlighting the role of culture, I'll emphasize the significance of innovative thinking, thinking outside the box, which opens possibilities for change, where the material basis of society is significantly information-based. Society, the internet and the hacker ethic. The information revolution is all about knowledge generation. The information age and the internet are remarkable because the innovations that arose here clustered around knowledge generation. And this came out of Silicon Valley culture, which allowed for the ability to innovate by thinking new applications that weren't there before. And influences for this came directly from the cultures of the 1960s, including thinking differently, rebellion against the establishment. Folks then didn't want a revolution. They wanted their revolution. And culture was extremely important, especially in the San Francisco Bay Area. And this led to alternative forms of computing linked to the personal computer. As the information age was getting underway, researchers in Bay Area universities started to take on a significant role. And universities in the Bay Area, Stanford and Berkeley, started producing research scientists. This became part of university policy. In the 1950s, Berkeley and Stanford produced less than half the PhDs than Harvard and MIT. And then Stanford started to fund engineering, and Berkeley got money from the state of California. And in the 1960s, Stanford and Berkeley produced 4 times as many PhDs compared with Harvard and MIT. So there was a deliberate government policy to support the technology revolution as a business investment. UC Berkeley professor Anne Saxenian's work shows that flexible networks of companies on the West Coast started to generate innovation and knowledge, which the structure of the more hierarchical East Coast companies couldn't match. West Coast culture gave rise to the internet. Saxenian's contribution emphasized the role that social networks played. People, engineers, students, researchers, computer scientists would meet after work to talk about it. The key thing here was there was a process of excitement about work. And those networks, in combination with people creating their own companies, played a seminal role in the creation of Silicon Valley culture. This networking process created a milieu of permeability where nothing was stable. And this led to the possibilities for synergies, where 2 plus 2 began to add up to 5, not 4. Why? Well, because putting things together whose added value was more than the things were or are as separate entities creates this synergy. It was due to interaction as well as to the added value from elements in the process. That fact that in Silicon Valley culture people and companies could talk to one another generated this innovative culture. And it clustered around a set of research centers, companies, venture corporations, labor markets, and professional organizations, which, through interactions, perpetuated this synergy. Out of this milieu arose the personal computer. And this computer was originally directly out of the Homebrew Computer Club in Sausalito, Menlo Park, and San Francisco in the Bay Area. What they were doing was finding codes that computers worked on. They created worlds around a new language. So, for example, countercultural scientists like Stuart Brand, who created the Whole Earth Catalog, brought the counterculture to the public through the personal computer, in part. This kind of work bridged society and the counterculture. Hacker culture emerged out of this same San Francisco Bay Area milieu. Hacker culture from all kinds of origins, including students, university researchers, computer scientists, and all kinds of alternative types in the Bay Area, were essential in the personal computer revolution, and later in the internet revolution. Countercultural types and hackers are important sources of innovation because they innovate for the sake of innovation, for their own pleasure, for their use value. What counterculture hackers and libertarians do is provide the unexpected openings that the system, economic, institutional, political, societal, cannot generate by itself. California culture, even more than US culture at large, and the university culture are full of these types. In addition, the libertarian individualist ideology of doing it by myself and for myself played a key role in the development of the hacker ethic. Pekka Heimanen's book, The Hacker Ethic, outlines this ethic. Heimanen's book, how hacker culture relates to the internet. What hackers do is work for the pleasure of doing it. Hackers, in this view, play and are different from crackers. Hackers, in a way, believe that free speech is free and so is good software. Crackers, on the other hand, are those who break the law, who are mostly kids and who are wanting to take on the world. Hackers are folks who need free software to improve software through information exchange and other free software. And companies are threatened by this. What hackers do is give to this system to get back from it. So what emerged in this information revolution was a paradigm shift. And I just want to mention 5 aspects of this paradigm shift. First, that the paradigm is now about information generation and processing, whereas in the previous industrial revolutions, it was about things like energy and metals and chemicals. This information revolution is now about information generation and processing. The second point about this paradigm is that it's pervasive. It invades and influences every domain of socioeconomic activity. The third significant characteristic of this information revolution is that it's characterized by networking. And this affects both the mentalities of people, it affects companies, and it affects people themselves. The fourth characteristic of this information revolution is that these technologies are flexible, that they're much less hierarchically bound or organized as processes were in previous industrial revolutions. And it's a system as such that reorganizes and reprograms components without disintegration. The fifth significant aspect of this new paradigm of information generation is that the technological convergence that it makes possible in integrating this system is based on an open system, not a closing system. The only limitation to convergence and new kinds of convergence are that they're bound by technological development. In conclusion, the hacker ethic, as a response to politics of control, such as market-based information production, e.g. Bankler, has successfully given rise to many new aspects of this remarkable real-time worldwide communication network that provides the circuits for cyberspace and will likely contribute to significant ongoing developments. The convergences that cyberspace and the familiar spaces of economics, society, and politics create include ongoing innovation due to hacking and convergences, and thus novel technological developments, as a kind of response to the limitations shaped by social, economic, and political processes. The hacking ethos thus acts as a kind of developing cultural opening for change that converges with societal, political, and economic processes. Societal